Hi, Dr. Saxena here, and my forays into something like chronic diseases is a much kind of stuff, and I have always been on a kind of this one, trying to maintain that there is something in the atmosphere, in the environment, which is causing a problem, and I would like to tell you in thing is this chronic illness is not caused by a bad gene or a curse or something like, or nor is it a function of aging. It's because not of aging. It's purely because of some chronic nutrient deficiencies, and along with that, these chronic deficiencies are accelerated by the destruction of the intestinal villi, and we focus more on something. In fact, most of my practice in for the last so many years now, the new person who comes to us, he tells the other patient, yes, you need to follow some of the things when you come here, and he talks about something like. And I don't have to really work it out. By the time someone sees me and he starts becoming my patient, he was told by the person who is taking the detox or hyperbaric, the next this one, he says you need to avoid this. What is this thing called wheat? So let us discuss why I am talking about to be gluten free. And this gluten free is because the gluten protein in the wheat, barley, rye, and some even in the oats you have got a protein which is very dangerous for oats. So we need this particular thing. I believe we should always try to. Um, um, I had over the years I have seen this wheat was always been a problem, and I would like to tell you that I'm not against the grain and all that, but I'm against this particular wheat which has been modified over the years, and which is causing some rare issues and most of the autoimmune. So this talk is something about against the grain. What exactly I'm going to say is this: over 2,000 years, we and our ancestors has been loving this thing called wheat, and we are these Egyptians when they discovered they grew lots of wheat during times of plenty and stored it, and when famine strode in the country, they would not starve to that. So it was easy to store, it was easy to transport, and it makes lots of different food items because you can always we always believe we have a great culinary skills, and we Indians have love to eat that roti in different forms, the wheat in the different forms and all. So uh, so this particular with this outside, this particular thing was almost like it was very inexpensive, and it is easy to make it and all that, so it has become a part and parcel of the whole this one. So why are we I am talking about this? I am talking about this because when the wheat breaks down, it causes gluten breakdown. It goes, one part is protein, one part is lectin. Lectin is the one thing which gets that wheat germ agglutinin, and there are a lot of things which are associated with lectins also. Apart from that, when the protein that is gluten breaks, it is called gliadin and glutenin and glutamorphin. Because of my work, which was related, I 2 decades back I started working on a thing called autism, and I really understood that this is something in the wheat which is causing that opioid-like substances which are being excreted in the urine. This was Paul Shattuck's theory, and he was able to in the from the urine of autistic kids, he was able to extract large amount of opioids, and that led to asking whether the parents are they giving something like opium like substance to to the children, and it was found that these people are only on this thing called gluten, casein, milk, and the wheat are the only staples which were being given for the autistic kid. So now we realize this is this particular theory, and we believe that these kids have they can make glutamorphin from this gluten, which gives rise to something like this kind of opiate-like behaviors. The child, you call him number of times, they don't know, they are into their own world. They more or less they act like addicts of the opium. So this is the one thing which always we were trying to look into, this protein of the wheat called gluten, and this are made up of molecules. What are these molecules, and how we can understand wheat gluten protein undergoes considerable structural change in hybridization, and see, this is what we were been talking about. So we understand there is some component of gliadin, glutamorphin, and glutenin which is causing a problem along with the lectins. So what happens? Let us see, when these proteins are surrounded by water and stress, they begin to interact and form new bonds between each other. And this particular the Dow breed is needed. The protein molecules form elastic sheets of gelatin, gluten, which traps the gases, and we tell that, oh, what a superb naan or something like that, butter naan, what we take here. So, having said so, but what happens when it goes into your from your teeth, and once you gulp it down, what happens once it enters into your stomach? Stomach requires a pH to be active, and if that pH is quite good, pH of the stomach is average pH is 1.5. This is very acidic. So what happens is that because of some variable factors, these days our pH of stomach is slightly getting milder and milder, like it is coming to 3 4 or something like that. It's not 1.5. So if someone has got a good stomach pH, he takes that wheat, nothing is going to happen, because that degrades into a smaller chain amino acids and gets it. But someone is having a weak acid, that stomach doesn't have that pH. So what happens is that all of that things get absorbed into the intestines and causes some kind of things which is makes the intestinal tract more permeable, which is called so what is we are talking about is this intestinal tract permeability is something like leaky gut, and because of the low pH and this particular stuff, this thing is getting into your system and it is not being clear. It's clear, but the large chain fragments of proteins, which are not small amino acids, which are large amino acid chunks, get into the bloodstream, causes a lot of allergic reactions as well as autoimmune problems. See, look at the kind of amino acids what we are talking about. The main reason to eat protein is to get the amino acids that are made, that form in our body. We need for muscle, we need that amino acid. So for getting that amino acids, we need a strong pH of the stomach, because this pH is going to whatever proteins you are taking, it is making it into smaller amino acids, and this smaller amino acids gets assimilated easily. When the pH is low, in the sense pH is 1.5, it is milder, like something like 4 or something like less acid, then the whole problem starts. It is something like there is a the fragmentation of this amino acids doesn't happen with the low acid which is formed in the stomach due to various reasons, and this results in large fragments entering into the bloodstream just like that, causing a big havoc. Um, Let me go back to that strong acid. What is that stomach acid? What I want to get a pH of 1.5. You need two things, which is one thing is salt, one is the calcium, and salt is one of the major and necessary ingredients that make the human body needs to make it stomach acid strong. So if you are on salt restricted diet, your stomach acid will be naturally weak. So your stomach acid is weak. You can't pull calcium out of your food, and your stomach acid becomes even weaker. That results in, once your stomach acid becomes really weak, you get something called heartburn, and it's a kind of vicious cycle. And what I believe is, heartburn is not caused by enough. Is caused by the not enough stomach acid what is being told was you have more acidity, that is the reason you are getting this heartburn. We are not on that same page, because there are a lot of studies which were conducted, and it showed it is a less of acid stomach in the stomach which causes the heartburn. So whatever is it, this particular thing, if this stomach acid is too weak, you can get into a thing called celiac disease also. Celiac disease, for your information, celiac disease is a, we have never heard this particular thing 30 years back when we were doing our medical college. And the thing is, you need to understand what is celiac disease. Celiac disease, the kind of villi and all these things with that, there is a balding of mucosal villi which results in celiac disease. A lot of people are into some kind of early celiac and all that. They are not totally, they don't have that total kind of this one. So this is a big thing, which is villi, microvilli and all that. And this microvilli and all, it constitutes, if you have got a good microvilli and you are absolutely, so you are able to assimilate proper food, whatever you eat, and you can always assimilate properly. If your villi, this villi are not enough, there's a mucosal balding because of that, then you are not able to properly absorb the lot of nutrients, and that is the one thing which is the inception of the disease. So the you have got a flow, this one, you have got a microvilli, food comes here, and this is how it is easily transported in the bloodstream easily. So this aspect of what, when there is a big chain amino acids which get into that, that causes a problem with villi like that. So we are always talking about not to venture into the foods which are something like having gluten, large chain amino acids and all that, which causes disruption in the villi, and which is a big problem when it comes to chronic disease. So all the chronic disease, if I have something like this kind of villi and this particular stuff, it is not a big problem. But we have some leaks here. You have got this particular thing is quite normal, but there is some leak here which is called a intestinal leaky small intestine. You that get a develop a leak. So large particulate matter, which is amino acids and all that fragments, they enter into the bloodstream directly. This is the major cause in most of the chronic diseases. Even in cancer, I can always tell you, leaky gut is a big issue. So this particular causes a lot of things which because of the undigested things and all that they get. Over the period of time, what happens is that this is the healthy villi and this is the damaged villi. So once you get the damaged villi, you know you are into a problem. You are having always malabsorption. You are not keeping properly well. You get into allergies on all sorts. Then you will have problems with taking up this kind of foods. You may take it now and then, but what happens is that you start facing the music after some time. Sometime is 2 days, 3 days later, you started having that. People have a complaint of their brain fog, they'll have some headache, they'll have some back pains and all that, all because of these lectins and all because of this particular. So this is one thing which I'm always working on, is very simple. You don't have to, you try to avoid this particular stuffs. Just avoid this and see the difference, and I'm sure it will be a great kind of stuff. And this is how we are working on chronic diseases. And for us, this nutritional medicine is important, and we need to understand this particular thing, then only we can work it out. Thank you.